From the Standing Stone Farm Studio right outside downtown Nashville, it's time for the most ridiculous sports podcast in the world. So sit back, relax, and listen as Bobby Butler and Brandon Bond crack open a cold one and talk all things hockey, pop culture, and complain about everyday situations. It's the Pucks Out Podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network.
Welcome in to the most ridiculous podcast in sports and pop culture. I'm Bobby. He's Brandon.
Heyo.
You can find us on the three majors of social media at Pucks Out Pod. Now let's crack open a cold beer and let's get after it. We are here in our new studio today.
The new temp studio. Little
Standing Stones
echoey,
Farm 1.5.
Little echoey in here. I'm sure that the master of the digits over here is going to be able to handle that a little bit.
We'll see what I can do.
We'll see what you can do, and I'll try to get us something kind of hung up over here so we can kind of block out a little bit of this echo. But I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, me too, man. Today we've got some free agency moves, wild insults, and talking the Loki series over on Disney Plus. Don't forget to check us out on What a Maneuver and Patreon to support the show. We've got our May Day show this Saturday with Justin Bradford. So if you're in the Murfreesboro area, come on out, check us out at around, we'll be there right when they open.
Heard they have beer there.
I've got a little bit of beer. But all right, how are you this week, bud?
That's all I can say is right. It's just, I got all my stuff moved from one house to the other. Now we have to deal with, getting the house ready for living. We've done actually a pretty good job of kind of getting it prepared for that, but just, it's just one thing after the other. Now I work all day and then I do house stuff all day. So, but everything is going great. Glad to be here. Glad to have that pool. Honestly, I could get a lot more done if I didn't have the pool. Yeah. If we're being honest. I mean, that's
I might gotta start bringing some swim trunks for the after we record.
Please do. Yeah. I mean, I like to host. I like to have folks here. One night, I think we're planning on maybe hitting tailgate one night after we record, last Tuesday of the month. Is that correct?
Yeah.
But if you're planning on hanging out for a little bit, swimming or whatever, let me know. Your boy will fire up the old grill. We'll get the Margaritaville speakers going. Sit them around the pool and do nothing, which is mostly what I like to do.
Oh, it's my favorite thing. My favorite thing to do is nothing.
But yeah, man, we're going to be planning soon our battle. Correct.
Yeah.
The Kraken
what
battle.
Feels like forever ago when we drafted those Seattle fantasy expansion teams.
The Tsunami playing the.
I don't remember now.
Mine was the Tsunami, right?
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look. I don't remember what they were.
Well, it was an unimaginative name, if we're being honest. I think I don't remember exactly what it was, but no, man, I've been doing pretty good. I'm glad to be done with the actual moving portion of it, and now just the setting up portion. What about yourself, brother?
I'm doing a lot of yard work, man. My body is so sore.
Yeah, we didn't even do a Kong video. Yeah. Thank goodness we bank.
I don't know.
Videos.
Yeah, I don't know. Looking up like that hurts. Trying to Kong a beer right now. I mean, it would get done. I'll put my body on the line.
You'll Kurt Schilling this bad boy.
Yeah.
And I don't mean being crazy. I mean, you'll just fight through bloody socket. Maybe I'll do one after we get done. I'll throw on the old trunks. I'll pop up in the pool, and I'll do one there, and you can video that. So we at least have some. We don't have to release it, but have some commemorative Kong for the first ever show at Standing Stone Farms 2 temporary
1.5.
1.5, right? Exactly. This is a stopgap, and so we promised 2.0. I knew that was never going to happen. We have a lot, but we want it to look good for the folks.
Yeah.
We want it to be, beautiful. We want to get the closet space set up. You had asked me, hey, are we going to have some space over there to do some D&D? And I'll let you answer the question. Do you think we're going to have a little bit of space to do some D&D? Yeah. I mean,
just a little.
Yes. Just a bit about probably 3,000 to 5,000 square feet too many to do D&D. We're probably going to get lost. But I'm excited, man. I'm sorry to hear about your poor back.
Yeah.
You're not even 30 yet. So I'm the one that should be complaining.
Oh, I found it right now. Mine were the Seattle Renegades.
The Renegades and the Tsunami are going to be battling it out for supremacy.
Yeah. And we'll do a recap of that with those teams a little bit later.
We're doing a 7-game series, correct?
Yep, 7-game series.
So I can sub in my my mistake. I don't get to play with Draisaitl game 1, but
you can still steal game 1.
I could if I steal game 1 and then I get to toss Draisaitl in there.
Now we have to. I think it's important that we play on the NHL game that when we did it, because attributes have changed.
Exactly.
Players
people
are
have
older.
Gotten worse. People have gotten better.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of the people would take me no longer being even in the league. I mean, I'm looking through. Well, Jack Eichel's not. It might be much different on a different team soon.
right. They're just going to automatically make him injured.
Shea Weber. You have Shea Weber, which is I think he's he's done now, or he's on LTIR.
And so, the biggest thing was a lot of the picks that we did for real life. I picked Shea Weber for a little bit of leadership. I would probably sub him out after game 1, just because leadership doesn't matter when it's a simmed computer. Hopefully they just play the game. They don't feel bad in the locker room. They don't need somebody to pump them up.
They got a morale rating.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if there is a way to do morale rating, I'm in.
If one of us has Evander Kane, some mobsters come in the middle of the game and break his knees.
We didn't even think about that as a possible option. So
I don't think either of us took Evander Kane.
I haven't even cracked open this beer.
It's a good beer, man. It's a social distancing from Mayday. So it's a pretty good beer.
Tell I've been out of my game. I cracked it away from the mic.
Well, you also didn't want to get in your computer this time.
Well,
like we both have done in the past couple weeks.
Well, no, I do. I would rather the people at home hear it, and I just have to fight through with no computer because I care about the folks at home.
But all right, let's jump straight into the news.
Everything you need to know about what's happening on the ice. It's time for news from inside the boards.
Once again, we record on Tuesdays, and like always, big news drops as I'm driving home on Tuesday night or Wednesday. Jack Eichel wants out of Buffalo.
Is that news though?
Well,
didn't we all know
since our last episode, his agent made a statement. He reactivated his Twitter account, I guess, so that he can be aware if there's a trade. But pretty much, I believe he wanted a surgery to get something fixed, and the team didn't want him to. They wanted him to rehab or something. And now they are not letting him get the surgery, but he wants to be traded, and it's all but where do you think a good landing spot for Jack Eichel might be? I mean, obviously anywhere. Jack Eichel's an elite player.
You really stole it out of my mouth, which I knew I was about to go there. Anywhere but Buffalo sounds like a great opportunity. I mean, I think the perfect landing spot would be probably Nashville. No, but in all seriousness, I mean, that's a hard thing to say. He's got a pretty big contract. I would have to be looking at some cap space. I mean, the problem with this question is he would fit anywhere.
Yeah.
Like you said, in all seriousness.
What I don't like, and I've been seeing it a lot, is, people are judging Jack Eichel off Buffalo Sabres. The fact is, they're like, oh, well, who could you really trade for him? There's only like 4 people in this entire league that you wouldn't trade for Jack Eichel, and that's 2 guys in the Edmonton Oilers, like 2 guys on Tampa. Like Jack Eichel for one would be a good trade for just about anybody in this league.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like in Nashville, if you were to tell me that we trade Philip Forsberg straight up for Jack Eichel, I'm happy with Eichel.
I would say I wouldn't be happy because I would say what is actually wrong with the guy. I love Forsberg, and I think he's really been stepping up his game. He's a young player. But let's not pretend like that 1-for-1 trade would raise eyebrows in the opposite direction,
Yeah.
I mean, he would really fit anywhere. I'll tell you where I do not want him to go is Pittsburgh. They cannot continue the center dynasty
or Chicago
that they've been. Yeah, I don't want him to go to Chicago. I mean, I think he would probably fit well.
Put him with Taylor Hall in Boston.
Yeah.
Keep him up in that region.
I think that would probably be worrisome as they would continue their dynasty.
Yeah.
Tampa probably wouldn't work.
They couldn't afford him.
They unless they just put him on long-term IR. They're like, we got him back for the playoffs.
Tampa's long-term IR can beat most teams in the league.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely some places that he would fit well. I mean, everywhere he'd fit well.
I'd like to see him in Montreal.
Montreal would be great. I would like to see a guy like that, and I know he would never be okay with that. But going to a place like Seattle, playing on the old new boys, getting a star in Vegas for finally. Not that they have had bad players, but they've never really had what I would consider a superstar.
Honestly, I would consider Marc-Andre Fleury a superstar, though.
Yeah, but at the tail end of his superstardom.
He's been so good these last several years. And I don't understand the disrespect he's gotten all throughout his career the last several years because he's a great goaltender.
He's a
Vezina winning goaltender.
He's been very good, but he's not been superstar the last.
Do you agree though that he has not gotten the respect he deserves for a quality goaltender between getting traded, getting replaced by Matt Murray, getting benched for Robin Leonard, getting traded away to Chicago? I mean, I feel like this is, if you gave me that transaction resume, that is not a Vezina winning goaltender transaction resume.
Recently won.
Well, yeah,
Vezina.
I mean,
he was not a Vezina winning,
but he's been in the talks the last couple of years. He's always been either a runner up or right outside those top three.
Yeah, but I would even if you have a superstar goalie, I wouldn't consider that with what I'm saying. As he one way or the other, whether he's considered a superstar, having a superstar goalie is not the same as having a superstar center or superstar winger.
Yeah.
So I do hear what you're saying there, but
would you not consider Patches a superstar in this league?
No,
I wouldn't consider him elite. I guess it depends on where. I guess it depends on where your superstar. For me, it goes like elite, superstar, like all-star.
I would in my mind, I would be considering elite and superstar in that same category.
Then yeah, that makes sense.
Because superstar, great.
I guess if we don't establish our grading mechanism, we don't know.
We don't have the scale running. So I would say a superstar is a superstar and elite player. I would consider them one and the same. So I hear what you're saying. It sounds like more in my scale, you're talking about Patches being a great player. And I agree with that.
Yeah. And a lot of times for me, elite is based on performance. For me, superstar also has to do with name value and what you do for the organization.
Just the skill set.
Because I think nobody can argue Flowers' popularity as a player in the league.
I would say that, and under your argument,
super unique description.
Under your very niche, description. Yeah, I mean, being a very popular player, yes, I would consider him a superstar. I'm talking more. I guess I like your term better, elite.
Yeah.
Vegas has never had an elite player. Even the winning a Vezina, I would never have considered.
We both didn't think he should have won it this year.
He should, and not that he didn't have a great year, and there's not many other years that this season shouldn't have deserved a Vezina, but Vasilevsky has got robbed 2 years in a row. He was very clearly the best goaltender in the league, and I just didn't understand it. And no disrespect to Marc-Andre Fleury, and I'm very glad that he ended up winning one. It's one of those things that where. But this is not a personal thing. The year that Pekka won his Vezina, he deserved to win the Vezina. Yeah. He was the guy. But that season, this year, I would not have said he deserved to win it because he did. Vasi had the best season
by far
of anybody.
It was to me. It was
this year.
It wasn't. It was close with other goaltenders. I don't think it was close with the Flower at all.
No.
I mean, I think I would have said I think I can't remember. I think I said either him or Grubauer.
Yeah, and Grubauer.
Then it was a little.
I think it was a toss up between second and third between those two.
Yeah, that's where I'm with you on that. Is
it could have very easily been Fleury third in the voting, and I think that he won it because he's never won it.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. And that's not what the Vezina is. It's not a total award, And so I don't think that it's not a non-Vezina caliber season. I don't want to say that because I'm just some guy that drinks beer and talks hockey with my buddy. So
is the guys who vote for the Vezina.
That's right, exactly. And so I think that it was not fair to Vasi 2 years in a row. Hellebuck I think was closer to Vasi last year than Fleury was to Vasi this year.
All right, Kirill Kaprizov, Calder Trophy winner this year, is eyeing a deal with the
I think it's Kaprizov?
Kaprizov?
Like Kaprizov, son?
Like a Kaprizov salad?
Yes. The Thai Cobb salad?
He's eyeing a deal with the K. I'm like trying hard to like not echo. So guys out there, if I don't fix this in post, you got to deal with the echo for this episode. He is eyeing a deal with the KHL with CSKA for like 1 year, $10 million. Which everyone online's like, oh, how can they get away with that when the salary cap per team is 13 million? It's like, guys, this is Russia. This is Putin's favorite team.
Yeah.
Like,
what are you even talking
They're going to
about?
Russia it.
They're going to say, well, it's 10 million, but it's paid for a sponsorship.
Well,
we're actually paying him $1.
Well, what it is actually is his actual salary would be 500,000. It's 900 and like it's 950 million. Where it's worth it's 9.5 million worth of bonuses because there's there's like two teams that don't have to worry about the cap.
This is not that as much as we bad talk and trash talk American sports and everybody got real mad about the Tampa thing. Dude, there's still some like fine line. Dude, it is Russia. Yeah. Okay.
There was a story. When I'm reading it, I thought it was
you lace up your.
I thought it was like a long time ago.
Like
when I'm reading the story about how the Russian mafia dealt with the CSKA, and I was like, oh, this is like the 1930s where the trainer for the team like questioned something, and 2 days later he was found with assassinated by the mob. A recently drafted rookie.
The mob, aka the Russian government.
Yeah. and a CSK rookie like didn't want to agree to a certain deal. He got assassinated by the mob. A coach got assassinated by the mob. And I was like, oh, this was like 1995.
And we talk, bad about other countries and stuff, but we have yet to be visited by a KGB agent.
Yeah, they listen to us. I think they like us.
We like what they say. I hope we don't get too popular in Russia, though.
That's a huge market. I'm cool with it.
No, because then it doesn't matter how popular we get if we get murdered, Bobby.
Well, that's why we have to be super friendly to them.
Yes, I agree. Sign the deal, Kaprizov, son.
We're big fans of Russian vodka here, guys.
Huge.
No Swedish vodka here.
Huge Russian fans. We are pro Russia.
Those dolls that go into each other, big fans. Big, really into them.
Really good to hide contraband. Because the TSA, you get through 2 of them, they're done. That's too much work for the TSA. So you hide them in the very middle of them. So yeah, huge fans of what are those called?
Nesting dolls, Russian nesting dolls. I think I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it is.
You take us into our next thing.
Ethan Bear signs with Carolina for 2 years, $2 million cap hit. I'm a big fan of this. They picked up some real trash defensemen with Tony DeAngelo, and I think this makes up for it. So I'm excited. I think that Carolina had made some pretty big strides.
You were right, nesting doll. I did not believe you.
I'm a sleeper agent, so
Hey, I would appreciate that. If I get murdered by my bud because he happened to
be fair, if I was
America,
a sleeper agent, would I know I'm a sleeper agent? So it's like it's a paradox.
You're more of you're more of like a situation like the Americans where you were just brought over here and your parents were.
But I'm not very good because I just said it on a recording.
No. See, that is good because now that you've said it, nobody will believe it. Then boom.
So it's like hiding in plain sight.
Exactly. You're like, I'm a sleeper agent. And I'm like, oh, you old jokester. And then it's like, I am.
So yeah, Ethan Bear with Carolina. I like this. I like Carolina's off-season movements except for Tony DeAngelo. What are your thoughts on Ethan Bear signing?
Yeah, I'm not one way or the other. I think Carolina had a really good offseason overall. I don't have a lot of opinions.
Do you think they're going to be a contender this year?
Yeah. I mean, I think Sebastian Aho makes you a contender every year. But besides the fact that they got,
but is it like but is he canceled out by Tony D'Angelo?
I heard they're going to give D'Angelo the captaincy.
I mean,
no, I don't think
they're going to give him like
a
fake C patch to make him happy, but it's like means nothing.
Yeah, I think that I'm not a big D'Angelo fan.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm joking.
I don't think he's a bad hockey player is the thing. I think if locker room wise, you can kind of control him. I think that's his biggest problem there. And I think that will be the true test is if they can get over his locker room issues. Now, I'm not that guy that says people can't change. You know, I mean, maybe he goes into this with a new light. I mean, playing in New York is the creme de la creme. And you got booted out of there because you were being a jerk. And so maybe he's like, oh, maybe I just shouldn't be a jerk. And that's totally possible. And maybe he goes into Carolina and keeps his head down and plays good hockey. Because, I mean, we can't, you know, as much as I dislike him personally, we can't argue that he was a bad hockey player. Because he wasn't a bad hockey player.
Yeah, he wasn't a bad hockey player, but I mean, he just, well, I don't know. I didn't like always see what he done. He has an issue keeping his skates under him sometimes. He's not his.
He's a young guy though. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of.
How old is Tony D'Angelo?
I think he's fairly.
I don't
young.
think he's got hockey IQ, honestly, for a pro hockey player. He's just. I don't like what I see the eye test from him. I mean, I thought he was. I didn't think he was old, but I thought he was like 29.
25.
25. Yeah, okay, so that's younger than I thought.
He's very young. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I guess he just doesn't. I guess he just doesn't. His off-ice antics doesn't make me think of a young guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but that's the point, isn't it? Though it's like if we were 24, we were given a complete platform in the whole world and got all the money that we wanted. Like, you think you're untouchable, right? Like, I mean, that's how all of us were. Not that I'm saying we would have said the exact same things specifically that he did, but you get this ego to you that, I mean, I don't even make a lot of money and I think I'm a cool guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so you can just imagine getting
how old is Adam Fox?
I think roughly
because we are a big Adam Fox podcast here.
I am. I think I always thought he was better than D'Angelo and didn't get he's only 23.
So Adam Fox can handle himself off and on the ice.
Sure. I'm not saying that.
I'm just fucking with D'Angelo at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and so I mean, it's, you know, if we all got judged by the stupid stuff we said at 24, then none of us would be here. I mean, especially us two. I mean, we still say stupid stuff at 30 and 29. So why, you know, so I think that if he can, maybe he really took something from this. He didn't say something so egregious that this is who he is. You know, this is not, and this is air quotes for the folks at home. This is not who I am. You know, that it wasn't like that situation where it really is who you are. I think he was just jaw flapping.
Yeah.
And I think he realized, because I mean, he went from, if he really cares about hockey, I mean, that's one thing, but we're talking about, he went from the premier organization in the NHL, one of the premier organizations in the NHL. Carolina is not that, you know, I mean, Nashville's not that. This isn't a hating on Carolina or hating on, you know, smaller market teams. But getting to play hockey for the New York Rangers is a dream that a lot of kids, I would imagine. That's up there with
like the Habs or the Penguins.
Exactly.
I mean, or the Blackhawks.
Exactly. And I would say that even, you know, nowadays it would have to be even higher to, I'm going to take this team that, you know, should be premier and is currently not to that next level. So.
But all right, Igor Shesterkin re-signed 4-year contract. I like that. I'm a big Shesterkin fan. I think eventually he will have a Vezina one day in the NHL. I firmly believe in him, both from a doing well for the team and also from a fantasy point of view. I love Igor Shesterkin.
What he needs to do is he needs to face up against Vasilevsky.
Yeah,
I mean, then he's got it, no problem.
Yeah. Thomas Tatar signed 2-year contract with the Devils. I think that's a good pickup for them at winger.
I like that signing for them as well. Yeah.
The Devils have
agree.
made some good moves this offseason, and honestly, I think that they are finally at the tail end of their rebuild. I could see them. Maybe not a Stanley Cup contender, but definitely a conference final contender in the next 3 years.
Yeah. I think they may be on the cusp of playoffs this year. I don't know if they'll make it through.
I think they'll make playoffs this year. I think they're going to make it in.
Do we want to waterbed it?
Oof.
How confident are you that they'll make the playoffs?
Not super confident.
Okay, so no waterbed.
I think they will, but the thing with the Devils is you just never know.
Right.
And it's less them; it's more about the other guys in the division. But that's all I got. Do you got any news that you want to bring up?
No, you pretty much covered. I've been moving everything, so I have not really even been paying attention to the news.
All right, let's hop into Outside the NHL.
Now that you know what's happening inside the boards, time for the rest of the headlines with news from outside the boards.
The Olympics are finally done. I watched maybe 3 events, the entire Olympics.
That's one of my what I will talk about it. My snaps, my stick.
I watched. What did you get to watch this year?
Not a whole lot, Bob. I watched a little handball, just because it happened to be on when I was watching a little bit of soccer. Not a lot, though, man. I've just been, moving. Just really, I haven't watched really.
I'm kind of so usually I would put it on like after the wife goes to sleep at around 1 a.m., 2 a.m. before I go to sleep, and I did get to see Olympic history with a Chinese diver score a perfect score. That was cool.
Was there a Russian judge? Because that's usually what gets you.
I don't know. But they don't have Russian. It'd be an ROC judge. So I don't think they have any Russian judges this year.
Well, those judges could be Russian, though.
I think maybe they could be Russian, but not technically by Olympic standards Russian.
He's not a Russian guy. He's not judge for Russia.
Yeah.
He's a. But I mean, those people are
I don't
not
think
all from one country.
I don't think they tell us who the judge's nationality. At least I didn't care or
but
see.
We would know when he's drinking, vodka. That's how you tell.
He's got the little fur hat on.
Right. He's like, I will not tell you my nationality.
But just know we are best.
Kaprizov's son come to the country.
We big fans of Pucks Out podcast.
He's like, we will see you later, Brandon.
So that was cool. So I'm watching the diving. It was and it was like I couldn't figure out. They kept like literally going down and immediately like showering afterwards. I'm like, I couldn't figure out. And I looked it up, couldn't figure out why I guess it's like so they stay wet. I don't know. Like they jump out of the pool so they don't dry off for some weird reason. Yeah, one of those weird things. I did get to see a little volleyball, beach volleyball, which is always cool.
Yes,
I saw the women win gold. I did see another one, and like my wife, she played college volleyball, and so she was kind of able to tell me a little bit about what's going on in there.
I was a volleyball manager for my whole high school career, so I know quite a bit about volleyball. Okay.
But so that was fun. I will say, and I'm still like I think it was the Danish team or the Swedish women's team. They kind of did a protest where they were like, it's ridiculous that we have to wear this outfit when the guys can wear it.
Yeah.
I do agree that I was like, I'm watching, I'm like, this is dumb. Cause you can see one of the girls clearly not comfortable picking her wedgie after every single set. And it
sounds very comfortable to me.
And I'm trying to think, I can't remember.
I don't want her to be uncomfortable, but
I'm trying to think what else the other thing I saw was, I think it was.
Yeah. Pink paid the fines.
Yeah. I saw that.
That they had to take for, it's funny in school, girls are not allowed to wear anything, unless it was like a frock that covered their whole body. But once you get to Olympics, we're okay with. Or
I remember even when I was in high school, the high school girls volleyball team kind of had to wear like super short shorts, but they were like, but between the hours of like 8 and 3, not allowed to wear.
You're allowed to rock them spandex, okay.
but only after 3.
But only if you're at practice, and only if I weirdly, as an assistant principal or something, can pop on in anytime.
But anyway, so the Olympics are done. The United States squeak out a win in the gold medal count, 39 above China's 38.
I'm looking at this. It looks like we won every medal count, buddy.
So, and that's actually the next question is,
Gold medal count.
Gold medal count always.
Question.
So, and I agree.
Question.
But when we took over the gold medal count the last day.
Yeah.
And
we were always winning total. We generally win totals.
So forever, ESPN, Sports and all that, they would show every other Olympics, they would show the medal count only by the gold. They didn't give a crap about the total medal count. They only cared about gold because America was always in front. This year, they changed it up and they put all of their things by total. And I'm just like, and every other country's like, you realize we don't care about total medal. We care about gold. And it's like, yeah, we usually don't come in first, but America comes in first. But it's kind of shitty that, now America's not in first. And
you can't switch up your game. I'm always, but I'm the same way. If we would have lost the gold medal count, I would have been like, I'd have been touting total. No, but it's always gold medal count. Always matters that in 39 events, America was the best in the world. Okay. We don't have a lot that we get to tout these days, but gold medal count, we can always guarantee that we're going to rock it. And so, I'm always a gold medal count guy. But I'm happy to switch over to total if we're not winning the gold, which I was rocking the whole year. But even when you look it up, if you look up, because like I did, while not watching a lot of Olympics, I would have a Google search for Olympic medal count. And so it even when we were the total medal count winner, it would still show whoever was gold medal top.
Now, I will say big shout out, honestly. A lot of people try to say, shout out to Great Britain for coming in fourth. They're such a small island. Honestly, shout out to Australia. Great Britain is like 4 times the population of Australia.
Well, and like Great Britain is like ran the whole world at one point.
There was a point where the sun never set on their empire. And what's funny is on some years, some Olympics, it's not Great Britain. Some Olympics, it's England and Ireland and Scotland. But the years that they can't pull, with years when they don't have enough athletes just from England, do they say, you know what, this year we're going to go Great Britain, guys.
Right, yeah.
So we're taking all of Ireland and Scotland as well.
Yeah, and I would imagine that has a little bit to do with
I guess Northern Ireland. I guess Ireland is in here.
Northern Ireland is a part of England.
No, yeah. Well, yeah. But I don't know if they take Ireland as...
Usually Ireland is separate. I'm saying this year because of COVID. No,
Ireland is separate. They're 39. They had 2 golds.
Impressive.
Yeah. I mean, it was the drinking games, but
but let's be honest. We're sitting here as, again, I say we're 2 guys drinking, talking smack about people that are doing stuff that we would never be able to do. Well, to be fair,
they don't have our specialties in the Olympics yet. It's a travesty.
They don't have conging.
They don't have conging
just yet.
They don't have beer pong. They don't have flip cup. All of these things take skill.
Beersby? Yeah. No, we would get dominated in Beersby. Yeah. There are some guys that are good at throwing frisbee and I
was decent. I've only played it once and I was okay at it. So maybe it's a hidden talent of mine.
I'm saying we didn't hit
maybe I'm a ringer.
We didn't hit it every single time. Yeah. And there are people out there that could hit it.
What we do hit every single time is a Kong.
We hit a Kong. We have yet to try something that we couldn't Kong yet.
Yeah.
I literally Konged scotch
and Jello.
And Jello, and then water. I Konged water. That was mostly because
good thing we didn't have the cicadas massacre here, because we probably would have tried to Kong some cicadas.
I'm not denying that I would have tried that. I would have tried to Kong a cicada. I would have been gross, but I'm a champion. I'm a gold medal.
Champions
conger.
Adjust.
Yeah. I mean, Japan, congratulations to them for having to deal with all the COVID stuff and still putting on a good Olympics.
I think I only saw a little bit.
Yeah.
It might not have been good.
Well, I've heard that it was pretty good from what I've heard, but we can all just highlight that we straight up dominated the total medal count. We always dominate total medal count, but it's not the same if we also don't win gold medal count. And also, everybody that won a gold medal here in the United States was only forced to do it because of their parents, not because of the country, which we cannot say about China. I would imagine that all of these people that won the 38 gold medals they won have been forced to do this sport since they were born because they were just a little good at it when they were a young kid. So, thanks to all the parents for forcing the 39 gold medalists here from the United States of doing it, but not the country.
Yeah. All right. Luka Doncic signs a 5-year, $207 million Supermax rookie extension with the Mavs. That is insane. I think that is the second highest ever in NBA history.
That's a big contract, buddy. Think about
it's got a player option at the end, I think, on the 5th year.
Think what we could do with 207.
A lot of beer. Yeah.
It's a lot of beer, bro. That's a lot of beer. We are creating a compound. We're just hanging out in the pool all day.
Think about all the metal we'll have from the empty beer cans, too.
Boom. We could forge them into gold medals. And we could have 40 gold medals.
I am still surprised the lack of Olympic competition. Why is there no other form of Olympics? Why do they have a monopoly on athletic skill competition? There should be a different kind of Olympics.
Like the X Games?
That's just for extreme sports, though. I'm talking like another place where swimmers can go do their thing.
I mean,
they got like world comps and
the thing is, nobody would watch it. They can't make money, dude. Were you just gonna watch swimming throughout the year?
If they had a dope ass commentary with like Tony Romo calling it, I mean, you get Tony Romo on it.
I still wouldn't watch it. I love the Olympics, and I think swimming is dope. But only if I get bragging rights because my country won. You know, like I have zero care for you just swimming. And that's the crux of it. I mean, because I'm sure they have lots of swimming competitions throughout the year. That's how you qualify for the Olympics. But no, I wouldn't watch.
One thing I don't like is Olympic, who they call purists. On Facebook, I see a lot of people saying, oh, like, I'll be honest, Greco-Roman wrestling, some of the most boring shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, dude, we should have WWE.
Yeah, thank you. All these people are like, oh, it's a pure form of a sport. It's dumb, dude.
It's like, dude, no, it's not pure because there's, dudes' dongs are rolling over other dudes' faces. And like, that's how you score. That's how you win. I'm in agreement. Like, we should always be updating the Olympics.
Like, listen, I understand that. Like professional wrestling is scripted, but it's a damn athletic masterpiece what these guys are putting on. It should be like, how is it any different? Like gymnast routines, guess what? They're scripted. They know what they're doing when they go out there. Professional wrestling, it's the same thing. It's wrestling mixed with gymnastics. Perfect Olympic sport right there.
Right.
Well, imagine going out there and you see Triple H winning a gold medal at professional wrestling.
The Undertaker.
Yeah.
He's unretiring for the 45th time.
It would be their viewership would explode.
You have to
right after the opening ceremony. The lights go out. You hear the dong from the Undertaker. The gong of the bong. Yeah. Oh, dude, it's dope.
You definitely have to update the Olympic. I mean, if we still had stuff that they were doing like at the first Olympics, like it would be like really random. Like it wouldn't be legit. Yeah.
I wouldn't be honestly have gladiator sports. Like full-on blood sports. No, I'm talking blood sports.
Oh, I'd be interested.
Now, a lot of people might protest it, but you telling me that you've got 3 of the top special forces in the world going against couple lions?
That'd be
Guess
sick.
What? I'm watching.
That's a year-round thing. Let's just have Olympics every day.
Yeah, this quickly changed, and I'm here for it.
I'm interested.
Now I know what we would do with that $207 million. Buying an island and having blood sports.
Just for the folks out there that are willing to give us even $1 million. Obviously, we couldn't do all this with $1 million, but like, you give us $207 million, we're gonna make that $207 million back tenfold, dude.
It'd have to be on an island with no laws. Like we would have to start our own country.
You can have all of the proceeds that we get if we just if we get Russell Crowe in there and we just have gladiator events.
He's like,
dude.
Guys, I'm like 70 now. It's like, I don't care.
Russell, get your ass out there.
Russell, are you not entertained right now?
Because I'll tell you what. Oh, I like how we're talking like, oh, this $207 million, we're going to be able to force Russell Crowe to do whatever he wants. Like the dude's not worth more than $207
He's like, guys,
million.
I'm not here because you paid me. I'm here because you got me at gunpoint. It's like, yeah, well, $207 million. All right. That changed quick. Today, for our main topic, we are talking the best free agency moves in the NHL. I've got 2 here. I didn't want to.
By the way, Russell Crowe's only worth $100 million. With $200 million, we could own Russell Crowe.
Plus, probably someone I don't know who. Maybe George Clooney too. I don't know what George Clooney's worth.
He got to be worth.
He's
more
got a
than
tequila
that.
company. Honestly, George Clooney might join us. It might be a partner.
That's more what we got to get in on.
Because I mean,
him.
let's be honest here. We're 30-year-old white guys. If we get rich, we're going to start a tequila company. It's what white guys do.
It's what 30. Oh yeah, no, we cannot. We'd have to partner with George. He is like worth like 500 mil.
Oh, he would. Honestly, George Clooney would definitely partner in gladiator blood sports.
No question. And then he will probably just tell Russell,
yeah,
you'll never work in this industry again if you don't come to our random secluded island and blood fight for my boys. Because in this scenario, I'm imagining George joining the podcast, right?
Yeah.
He would just be the 3rd member of the podcast.
Yeah.
We'd have to have him a cool tagline to come
We'll think
in.
about that.
What if he comes in, he's like, I'm taking Heyo. I'm like,
Well, you're George Clooney. You can,
all right.
I mean, if George Clooney asks for something, you give it to him.
Oh, it just seems like he's the type of guy that would not ask. He would just say, I'm saying Heyo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I've only been saying it for 75 episodes, but yeah, no problem, George.
It's like, that's Mr. Clooney to you. Got it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Honestly, I think the Avs landing Gabriel Landeskog in the re-signing is a lot of people didn't think it would happen. And I'll be honest, I was skeptical if they could pull that off. I think that's huge for them.
Agreed.
And I think the Avs are not far out from a Stanley Cup. I think they'll be in the Stanley Cup Finals a couple times over the next 5 years.
We keep saying it every year.
Yeah.
1 year, we're probably going to hit.
It's going to happen.
I'm in agreement, though. I mean,
and as much as it hurts me to say, in my soul, Chicago made some good moves this offseason. Seth Jones.
I almost chose Seth Jones as one of mine, and then I was so happy to see that you had chosen him as one of yours. But I do think that's one of the
they got Flower.
moves.
Taze will be back. Do you think they're going to be making a postseason push this season? Do you think they'll make the postseason this year? Let's start off easy on that. Do you think they place higher than the Predators in the division? I think yes.
Yeah, I do, unfortunately. This is one of those things that where you have to say yes and you just hope you're wrong.
Are we back to normal divisions this year?
I would imagine so. Okay. I mean, well, we'll see what Delta has to say about that. But yeah, I would imagine so.
Every time my brain is still not accustomed to every time someone says, we'll see what Delta, I keep thinking, why does Delta Airlines have anything to say with what we're talking about?
We'll see what the South, well, I mean, by that time, though, we'll see what the Southwest variant has to say about. We'll see what Spirit has going on.
That one's going to be bad.
Oh, my goodness.
It's only going to affect people who make under a certain amount of money, though.
and then you go to the doctor.
You've got to do all the work for
like,
it.
Hey, you have the Spirit variant. They're like, look, you're going to have to be the doctor for this. No, I really like the 2 moves you've chosen. I went very similar in my 2 moves because I thought yours were good. Zach Werenski re-signing at the Blue Jackets. I think the Blue Jackets needed that. I don't think that they are going to be competing this year, but I think you got to keep your guy around. Yeah.
So I'm looking at the Central Division. I think it'll go Tampa, Carolina, Florida, Chicago, Dallas, and then Nashville.
I don't know. I think that we're going to be. We usually surprise some teams.
And listen, I would love to see it, but I think it'll come down. I think, I'll say Chicago.
I don't know that.
I'll say Chicago, Preds, Dallas. I think Dallas is going to finish pretty low this season.
I don't think that that Florida will finish 3rd.
We don't
either. No, I think that. You think
they got lucky with their.
I think they played above their pay grade last year.
I'm saying Tampa. That's the old conferences.
Tampa,
I'm saying the old divisions. I'm looking at the old divisions, the Central for this season.
I'm not arguing Tampa being.
Well, what I'm saying is
top.
they're not going to be in our division this season.
Oh,
yeah, I forgot. I'm looking at the old division, the divisions for this past year. It's been so long.
Tampa or Florida not going to be in our division. So
weird. It's been so long.
Preds, Avs, Blues, Dallas, Chicago, Minnesota.
Yeah, I think the top 3 will be Avs. I think Avs take the division.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Nashville and Chicago are fighting for that second spot.
Yeah, I would love to see us
With Dallas
fighting for that.
With Dallas and Minnesota fighting for that fourth spot.
I think Minnesota's going to take second this year. For being honest,
do you think? I think it has to do with if Kaprizov leaves or not. Honestly,
yeah, if Kaprizov leaves or not, I think that definitely makes a big difference. But we'll see. Let's revisit. We're way too early to be predicting divisions.
Yeah.
Do not hold us to this, folks. George, I'm not guaranteeing this. Okay, there's no water bets on the line.
I like to think that if we were doing video, just cut to George Clooney listening. Like, God damn it.
He doesn't even say anything except
he just listens live somehow.
Well, he's here. He's sitting with us while doing it, but only thing he says the whole podcast is "Heyo." He just comes in so he could steal my line.
Now when we go video, we got to get a cardboard cutout of George Clooney.
Please,
with a little video with a little audio thing on that
We're not getting one of Batman though.
Oh no,
that's a refusal. Maybe an ER George Clooney.
You mean you don't want Batman with nipples in the studio?
No, I hate Batman. Nipples or no?
Zach Werenski.
Zach Werenski. I think that was a good re-signing for the Blue Jackets. And then I went back to the Avs like you did. I think re-signing Cale Makar was a great signing. I think they needed that. I think they needed that more than they needed Landeskog, in my opinion. I think that Landeskog was obviously a better re-signing. I think Cale Makar is a part of their future.
I agree. I think he will be. I think he will be an elite player. I think he'll win multiple Norris trophies in his career, and be one of the best players to ever play the game. If he continues on the path that he's on, and he continues,
I think it's a little early for me to predict that. But I mean, I don't disagree with you. I just don't think I would throw that prediction out.
I like being
hyperbolic. Do we want to do a long-term water bet that if Cale Makar doesn't win multiple Norris trophies, I win?
Yeah. I'll go ahead and water bet that.
We're not going to remember this at all. So I don't know what it is. I'm just trying to get a water bet going this game, this episode.
Let's move on to joke.
What's that, George?
Arrow. Oh, okay. All right, let's move on to joke of the week.
George, you
The weird. Corey Perry. See, I don't like that. Wild. I think the first read was a good one. Now I'm overthinking it. Outlandish.
Each sixth chick sat on a stick. Little tongue twister.
And downright dumb.
You're kidding me.
It's time for the joke of the week.
This one's pretty great.
This one's great. This is mine. Don't steal this headline.
You got it.
This is a little older, July 27th. You had a pretty good one that was more time sensitive last week. So I saved this one.
Well, to be fair, the actual when the story happened was 2014.
Yeah.
But it was written up recently.
Yeah. Well, I can only go by when it's written. I did not have insider knowledge of this. An NBA coach punished his team because one player had an Android phone and it messed up the group chat. Honestly, I agree with this 100%. You're an Android guy, and I hate it.
I love it.
Our Dynasty League has 9 iPhone members, and we have you as well. You can't name the group. You can't do anything with it. Like, you can do so much. Like, I could FaceTime the whole group if you just got on board with an iPhone. We even named one of our Big Brother fantasy leagues that it's me.
Half the league is Android.
Well, we didn't, but we thought I for some reason, and I think it was your mom and your sister have iPhones, and I thought Megan did, so we named it the Blue Crew plus Bobby. And it turns out that half of the crew is Green Crew.
By the way, killing it. I'm killing it this year.
You are killing it. But
did you see my new team name?
No.
Bob's Birkenburgers.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I thought you were talking about a new team name. Anyway. So this coach, Jason Kidd.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of the guy. When he was the Dallas Mavericks head coach, he won't tolerate Android users on the team. Okay. which is crazy because he's a terrible coach.
Yeah.
and
And also, just get them a phone. This isn't college. You can buy them a phone.
Yeah. I mean, if it's
Get them
just for the
a
group
team
chat.
phone.
He reportedly he's the Dallas Mavericks coach now. He was the Milwaukee Bucks coach at the time, which, he didn't get to enjoy that championship. Jason Kidd reportedly punished the entire Milwaukee Bucks team because one player had an Android phone during his stint as the Bucks coach in 2014. According to an excerpt in the upcoming book, Giannis, The Improbable Rise of an NBA MVP by Miran Fader. Fader writes that Kidd was a strict, hard-nosed coach with the Bucks from 2014 to 2018 and brought an interesting coaching tactic that punished the rest of the team for a single player's mistake. If a player slipped up during practice, then Kidd would make every other player run sprints, while the player who made the mistake had to watch from the sideline. Oh my God. We're talking, and I do want to highlight, and I told you this before we started recording, Bobby. I do want to highlight that this is the guy, once he was drafted pretty early on to a bad team, that said he was going to take his team and turn him 360 degrees. And I mean, he did. They never got good, but I don't think that he meant that. I think he meant 180 is probably what he meant. But if you turn 360 degrees, folks at home, you're just back where you started. Okay. That's just a circle. The tactic would instill a physical punishment to the team to encourage players to hold each other accountable while using psychological punishment on individual players to promote a more urgent mental focus. We all know that this doesn't work. Yeah. You just end up hating that one player. Oh my God. He is just, what a joke. This guy's such a joke. And then the Dallas Mavericks hire him after having Rick Carlisle for so long. Oh my God.
Every guy on the team of the Mavs who have an Android, they're like, shit.
He's like, dang, dude, I got to get up in that.
But yeah, like here's the thing, if you really care that much, buy your players team phones.
Like if I implemented some sort of situation in our dynasty league in which I made everybody, I was like, oh, Bobby has an Android phone. Everybody has to give up $100 of their fab.
But not me. I just have to sit around and watch.
You just gotta watch. You just gotta watch us give up our fab. Like, oh my God. Like, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely absurd.
I think you should do that.
I'll bet you would. See, it turns out though,
yeah, this is.
He did it to. It was Thon McCarr, who last played for Cleveland in January, caused the error in the team's group chat by using an Android. And it's not that it causes an error. It just makes it green and you just can't name it anymore, which I guess is
Which honestly,
necessary.
I'll be honest, is they shouldn't be blaming the Android user. That's something you should blame iPhone for. There's got to be a way, like they're doing it too.
Have you ever met somebody that uses an iPhone, Bobby? We do not accept responsibility. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying that, like,
I mean, I get what you're saying.
Apple does it so that this right here happens, that you pressure your friends into getting an iPhone. They could easily do it.
It is working because I will never stop trying to get you to get an iPhone just so I can just name my group chats, dude. I get it. I'm not going to punish you.
When I switch phones, I'm going to get like a BlackBerry.
That's the same thing to me.
I know.
It does not matter at this point. If it's not an iPhone, it doesn't matter to me, Bobby. Get whatever you want, okay? Get a flip phone. It's the same thing. And see, like, what I do like is I occasionally will mess with you and like your messages. Because iPhone still lets you like or love.
Yeah, but it sends me a message that says so-and-so.
But it just
like,
sends the message again and said so-and-so laughed at your message. So I do that occasionally.
That is pretty fucking tiring.
Yeah, to you, but not to the rest of us. We just see a good like. During Kidd's 4-year tenure in Milwaukee, the Bucks win a combined 139-52. 3 years later, they win the NBA championship and never advanced past the first round of the playoffs before he was fired halfway through the 2017-2018 season. He spent the last 2 seasons with the Lakers as an assistant coach before being hired by the Dallas Mavericks on June 28th. What? Why would you hire that guy?
That's
the
wild.
dude thinks that a 360 is turning things around, which it technically is. I'm not going to say that you're not technically turning things around.
There's like
But
a
you're not
2 week
going in a
period, they're
different
good, and then
direction.
they're bad again.
Right. They're like, we are good. We are on the right track here. We're on the right track.
All right, let's move on. We're talking. We are not doing Summer of Bond this week. We're gonna get back to it, but we're talking Loki season 1. I loved the show, dude. It was so good. We're running a little bit long on time, so we're not going to talk too much about it. But yeah, I thought it was great. I didn't like that they definitely tried to show President Loki as a big fixture of the show, and then just kind of he was in there for 30 seconds.
Yeah, and it turns out that the alligator Loki has become much more of a
that was
thing.
dope.
Yeah, it
I
was
also
super
liked Frog Thor.
yeah.
When he was like in the little thing trying to get to his hammer, that was cool. Originally they said that there was a deleted scene with when he first landed, like Loki, regular Loki, fights Frog Thor and gets his ass kicked by Frog Thor. So I wish I had seen that. Would have been a dope scene to keep in there.
There was so much they could have done with this. I mean, they did the perfect job with it.
Yeah, it was great.
But I mean, luckily, this is of the 3 Marvel shows that have come out, this is the one that is definitely confirmed for season 2. So I'm super excited about it. It was awesome. It was definitely by far of the 3 shows the best one of the 3. And I mean, Tom Hiddleston. It's hard to argue with that guy. And I mean, Owen Wilson. Also, can we just talk about how great Owen Wilson was? Wow. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it was a great show. We'll talk. I'm sure we'll talk more about it later. Let's move on to our questions from the internet. Most imaginative insult you can come up with. Let's try and keep it not X-rated because
I thought something was going to come to me, and nothing really has.
I wrote
off
one
the
down
top of my
earlier.
back.
I started thinking of one.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to throw out a few that you want not X-rated. I'm just going to throw out a few that I used to trash talk at baseball games. I usually, or any sporting event really, I usually like to tell whoever I'm insulting that their mother does not want them. This is why your mom doesn't want you home for Thanksgiving. Just right off the bat, that's like, it hits hard, right? Like, because like everybody's mom wants them home for Thanksgiving, but your mom does not because of who you are as a person, just in general.
This is one I did come up with, a beardless lily-livered sewer rat.
Okay, so you're going more like just in the odd factor.
Yeah, I mean, because I think that's like,
Sure.
that's like, because that's definitely an insult. And it's definitely unique.
I always tell people also, I'm just going to go with my laundry list of things that I say to people. I hope that your socks are wet all day tomorrow. Because there's nothing worse
Hope you
than
get
wet
stuck in
socks.
traffic.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's Nashville.
It
so
depends on.
everybody gets stuck in
we did
traffic.
We did it when at a soccer game when they were heading back to Atlanta. That
Oh,
one, that's hurt. And you could tell, and one of like that hurt a couple. They were like, "Oh, why would you do that to me?"
Because like they were like laughing at it, but like they were also like, "Dude, that hit me hard."
Yeah.
Okay, because that was legit. Yeah. I told an umpire at a AA game. I was like, "How did you even make it to AA? You should clearly be umping high school games." Just little things like that. Like I take pride in my G-rated smack talk at games because it hits them hard. I told them I hope they get socks for Christmas.
Yeah. Whereas I like going for shock value, and it's
work.
it's effective, but they're both effective just in different ways.
Yeah. Well, see, I always get more laughs.
Yeah.
You get the, because some people are like, oh, okay, wow, that was like a little hard. I usually do get laugh. It was funny. We went to the Sounds game last week, and I was just smack talking people, just like I was, but not like crazy. I I told the guy that, his mom's not proud of him or something.
I'm assuming these are players and not just people sitting in your section.
It was just a player.
Okay.
But then there was this lady sitting over to the right of us, and you can ask Davey about this. She looked over at me, and she's a Sounds fan. It was the other team. I was smack talking this guy, and she looked over, and she was mad. She's like, he played for Boston last year. And
well,
so
he's here now.
And that's exactly what I said in front of. I was like, yeah, he may have played for Boston last year, but he playing in Nashville, Tennessee this year. And she did not like it at all. So,
all right, let's move on to what's snapping your stick.
Bobby and Brandon are about to find out exactly what snaps their sticks.
All right. I don't have much of a sports one, but
I don't have a non-sports one.
Yeah,
because I already used moving last week.
So this morning, I'm looking at my emails, and I see an email from Forbes, which is annoying. I don't read Forbes. I don't get Forbes, but I just get emails from Forbes, and they're telling me, they're like, here's 7 tricks you can do right now to reverse climate change. I'm like,
71% of climate change is not our fault.
and I'm like, all right, let me see. And now I don't know why I was being hopeful that maybe they came on and said, here are 7 things. There's nothing you can do. It's up to the corporations.
Eat the rich.
And the first one was like, eat less meat, ride your bike. And it's like, what? And it's like, so there's nothing worse than
live in Nashville, Tennessee, dude. Like, I'm just going to ride my bike down the interstate.
Like, bro, I live in Shelby. I'm going to ride my bike to an hour and 15 minutes.
You're going to go home. You're going to ride your bike home, but you're not even going to make it all the way there. You're going to have to turn around halfway here
by next Tuesday.
By Tuesday. George is going to be pissed if you don't get back.
So the fact that a place like Forbes is trying to tell people that, climate change is up to you.
Yeah, that's super annoying. I agree with that. Like 71% is like of all that. Let's not even get this political. Like if you believe in climate change or not, we can agree with what they said.
Like pollution happens.
They can agree. We can agree with what they say causes climate change. Dude, it's like 50 companies that cause 71%.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm going to do this weekend? I'm not going to spill millions of gallons of oil into the Gulf. Boom. Right off the bat, I am doing more for the country. Yeah.
Or if that list I got was like 7, like if it was like, here's 7 companies that are actually green, here's that you can support. I'm cool with that.
Sure.
But telling me, eat less meat.
Less meat. Like, are the companies that make the meat gonna make less?
Yeah. Because here's the thing.
Are not.
This is the thing. Say I eat less meat. Guess what? If I'm eating, a shit ton of pistachios, they're using those machines. They're devastating climates by farming all these pistachios in mass.
And I'm not even saying, look, I'm not saying don't do your part, but you, as a large-scale corporation, don't tell me how to do my part.
One of my favorite ones on there was like, it said plant a lot of trees, and like, I'm like, all right, what's a lot? Because I planted 5. I planted 5 trees over the past week.
Boom.
Yeah, so it was like if you
combated climate.
It was
change.
like if you can plant somewhere between 500 and 1,000. It's like, who the fuck is planting 500 to 1,000 trees on the personal level?
There is only certain groups of people. There's only certain people that can do that. And it turns out that we consider them people, but they're just big companies.
Yeah.
So.
Another one I really liked was consider buying a plant for your home, maybe a succulent. Well, then I did a quick research. Did you know that right now there is a massive black market for succulents because of everyone in the COVID crisis? They wanted to start raising plants, but we're Americans, we're lazy as fuck. We didn't want to have to take care of these plants. So we started buying succulents. Well, now in Africa, there is a massive pirating of succulents happening.
What we've done is we've created
blood. We now have blood succulents.
Blood sucks. I just got Stephanie a nice little baby cactus. I'm like, it's just so sweet.
Somebody died to get that.
Well, I benefited from getting it. So just know, guy that died for this, it was not.
I just find it funny that Americans are like, we want succulents. And they go to I don't know, Lowe's or wherever they buy. So they're like,
that was where I went. I bought the cactus from it's only like $5.
And like they'll go there and like they say, oh, so we don't have a succulent, but we have all. It's like, ooh, do I have to water that more than twice a year? I don't want it.
Well, the cactus is you do not. So she's good. So we're all good on that. So I do have a sports, and it was funny because we already talked about it. You really stole my thunder. I didn't get to watch enough Olympics this year, and I was very sad about it. And I really touted when we argued how awesome the Summer Olympics are, and I still stand by that. But I really should have watched more because I fought for it hard.
So while I know this is a super unique situation, do you think that if you compare this past Summer Olympics viewership to the next Winter Olympics, do you think Summer will still come out on top, or do you think Winter will beat out just because of the very unique situation that this year was?
What's up with the Southwest variant is what I got to say to that. I don't know, dude. I have no idea. I didn't watch a lot because I have been moving and stuff. The moving is so stressful.
It felt like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't really have a reason why I didn't watch it as much. Maybe it wasn't advertised as much. Maybe because I had Hulu.
Because we're so damn busy, dude. We just look. I mean, watching and turning on the Olympics is less mindless than just throwing a show.
And that's the thing is, like, we're different people than we were the last summer. That was 4 years ago.
5 years ago.
5 years ago. I mean, we were in our early 20s. We could take off a day and be like, we're watching Olympics all day.
I did do that a couple of times last time. I think it also really makes a difference of where the Olympics are. Yeah. If it's in your time zone, they're very helpful. But like, I think the next one's in Beijing. Not watching stuff live really hits.
Well, here's the thing. I remember watching the Beijing Olympics a lot. And that's
we were young. We were way young. We didn't have stuff to do.
Yeah. I mean, viewership across the board was down.
But I think that overall, we know what's going to happen. So we don't care to watch.
And that's my thing is I think if they added better sports in there, then people would watch.
Summer is way better. Close this out. We got to get out of here.
All right, guys. We will see y'all next week.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Pucks Out Podcast. To see what other ridiculousness the guys are up to, check them out on Twitter and Instagram @PucksOutPod.